The town of Farmington. Respecting history, planning the future.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the Farmington Town Council meeting and ask you to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And tonight we have, before we begin our meeting, we have 4 presentations for Eagle Scouts. And I'm going to go up to the podium and we'll do one at a time. Turn it a little this way. Good evening. Tonight we have 4 Eagle Scout proclamations to present. And I have to say that it's an amazing tribute to this community and to your troop, Troop 68, to have 4 Eagle Scouts this year. And I'm very proud to be here tonight to be able to award these plaques. It's especially near to me. My son was an Eagle Scout, and he was actually in Troop 68. Some of the projects that I see that you've done, one did, well, we'll go to those in a minute, but he was an Eagle Scout in Troop 68, so I know what it takes to get to that point. And I know that during the years of, from the time you begin your projects and begin as a Cub Scout, year after year to get your badges and continue with all of the activities you have in school and with the challenges at school that get greater and greater. It's just amazing that you stick with it and become an Eagle Scout because there's so much involved for yourselves and your families. And I know that it follows you through your life. My son is 37 now. And you never, once you become an Eagle Scout, what you've had to go through to become an Eagle Scout always follows you. Whether it's a job, whether it's college, it's a wonderful, wonderful accomplishment through the years. So I just congratulate all of you. And first we'll have Kyle Kraut, please come up. Hi, Kyle. Kyle is an Eagle Scout in 68, and actually his project was to work with veterans and actually interviewed veterans. I haven't seen the interviews, but I'll be delighted to see them. We had Veterans Day or Memorial Day a week or so ago, and we actually had to have a tribute always in front of our, at the memorial right out front. And we actually had a dedication the day before, and for someone who had passed away, who is now on the plaque for the Afghanistan war. And that was quite a tribute. But I know that when we've honored veterans on Veterans Day, it's always a wonderful, wonderful day, and they are just so pleased to be recognized. So I'm sure that all your interviews went well, and it's quite an honor, I'm sure, for them. And tribute to you. Your proclamation. Whereas the Boy Scouts of America help train the youth of our community with skills which serve them well in the future, and whereas many of our youth participate in activities of the Boy Scouts of America which benefit our community, and whereas one of the crowning achievements of Boy Scouting is the attainment of the rank of Eagle Scout, and whereas Kyle Kraut from Troop 68 Boy Scouts of America recently completed the requirements for Eagle Scout, and whereas Kyle Kraut interviewed Farmington veterans about their experiences during their time in the service, and these interviews were digitally compiled and given to each veteran. the Veterans of Foreign Wars organization, as well as the Farmington Public Library, and thus provided tangible memories of the veterans, for their families, and for the community. And whereas Kyle Kraut has demonstrated superb leadership skills by earning 32 merit badges, attending the 2013 National Youth Leadership Training and the 2014 Alaska High Adventure, and through his participation on the Farmington High Crew Team, and whereas, as a result of Kyle Kraut's work, the lives of the people of Farmington will be enriched and enhanced. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on behalf of the Farmington Town Council, we hereby extend to Kyle Kraut our best wishes, and we hereby proclaim June 13th, 2017, as Kyle Kraut Day in Farmington, Connecticut. Dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this 11th day of June, 2017. Nancy W. Nickerson, Farmington Chair of the Town Council. And we have a little token. Congratulations. Next, we have Brennan Reynolds. Hi, welcome. I found this project very interesting. The project is East Farm School Pond, assembling and installing informational kiosk. The reason is that my son's Eagle Scout project had to do with the pond at East Farm School, which is really coincidental. At the time, which was a number of years ago, the pond they were actually dredging the pond and cleaning it up and doing a path. His project was to do a path through the woods with seats and a reading path and little reading areas. So it's kind of interesting to me that here you are tonight, and the pond as well at East Farms is alive and well and thriving with your hard work. One of the things, too, that I didn't mention was I know that Eagle Scouts, so many boys begin as Cub Scouts and go through the years, but only about 1% become Eagle Scouts, which is absolutely amazing. So another tribute to these boys, young men actually, at achieving this honor. Proclamation. Whereas the Boy Scouts of America help train the youth of our community with skills which serve them well in the future, and whereas many of our youth participate in activities of the Boy Scouts of America which benefit our community, and whereas one of the crowning achievements of Boy Scouting is the attainment of the rank of Eagle Scout, and whereas Brennan Reynolds from Troop 68 Boy Scouts of America recently completed the requirements for Eagle Scout, and whereas Brennan Reynolds' project benefited the East Farm School Pond by assembling and installing an informational kiosk, allowing the school's parent-teacher organization to post necessary information. And whereas Brennan Reynolds has demonstrated leadership through his attendance at the 2013 National Youth Leadership Training and the 2014 Alaska High Adventure, as well as distinction by earning 42 merit badges and being the recipient of the Conservation Challenge Award from the National Wild Turkey Federation. And whereas as a result of Brennan Reynolds' work, the lives of the people of Farmington will be enriched and enhanced. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on behalf of the Farmington Town Council, we hereby extend to Brennan Reynolds our best wishes, and we hereby proclaim June 14, 2017, as Brennan Reynolds Day in Farmington, Connecticut. Dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this 11th day of June, 2017, Nancy W. Nickerson, Chair of the Farmington Town Council. Here you go. Thank you. We next have Evan. And Evan's project involved the rehabilitating the woodland trails behind the Hillstead Museum, which certainly is going to be seen and appreciated in the town for years to come, with 2 underground pipes and a placing bridge over a small stream on the trail, which I'll read about in a minute. But we just thank you so much for this tribute to Hillstead Museum. We know it's something, the museum is something we're so proud of here in town in Farmington, and this work helps that thrive, so we appreciate that. Whereas the Boy Scouts of America help train the youth of our community with skills which serve them well in the future, and whereas many of our youth participate in activities of the Boy Scouts of America which benefit our community, and whereas one of the crowning achievements of Boy Scouting is the attainment of the rank of Eagle Scout, and whereas Evan De Silva from Troop 68 Boy Scouts of America recently completed the requirements of Eagle Scout, and whereas Evan De Silva's project involved rehabilitating woodland trails behind the Hillstead Museum by installing 2 underground pipes and placing a bridge over a small stream on the trail. And as a result of his efforts, the trails are now protected from runoff by the adjacent mountains. And whereas Evan De Silva is an active member in the community through his participation in the Farmington High School robotics team, men's ensemble chorus, and volunteering as the mascot of the Dream Ride and Rebuilding Hartford. And whereas as a result of Evan De Silva's work, the lives of the people of Farmington will be enriched and enhanced. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on behalf of the Farmington Town Council, we hereby extend to Evan De Silva our best wishes, and we hereby proclaim June 15, 2017, as Evan De Silva Day in Farmington, Connecticut. Dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this 11th day of June, 2017, Nancy W. Nickerson, Chair of the Farmington Town Council. Here you go. Thanks. And now we have Andrew. Welcome. Andrew's project was a project at Irving Robbins Middle School. And many of you sitting here have probably gone to Irving Robbins Middle School. And some of you sitting up here at the council have gone to Irving Robbins Middle School and know that what a treasure that is. And this was involved in the courtyard and planting trees. So we know, again, all of the projects that everyone has done here do benefit the town. And we as the town of Farmington and all of the citizens here really appreciate all the hard work and the time and energies put in for the town. Whereas the Boy Scouts of America help train the youth of our community with skills which serve them well in the future, and whereas many of our youth participate in activities of the Boy Scouts of America which benefit our community, and whereas one of the crowning achievements of Boy Scouting is the attainment of the rank of Eagle Scout, and whereas Andrew Kralik from Troop 68 Boy Scouts of America recently completed the requirements of Eagle Scout, and whereas Andrew Kralik's project included the clearing a portion of a science courtyard at Irving Robbins Middle School and planting various trees and plants native to Farmington to create a mountain habitat for birds to dwell. And whereas Andrew Kralik's project enables middle school students to enjoy an area to closely observe the life and the behavior of the birds without interrupting the birds' daily routine. And whereas Andrew Kralik has demonstrated bravery and leadership, especially when he saved the lives of his family during a house fire and was awarded the Life Saving Award and Commissioner's Award from the Boy Scouts. And whereas as a result of Andrew Kralik's work, the lives of the people of Farmington will be enriched and enhanced. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on behalf of the Farmington Town Council, we hereby extend to Andrew Kralik our best wishes, and we hereby proclaim June 16th, 2017, as Andrew Kralik Day in Farmington, Connecticut. Dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this 11th day of June, 2017. Nancy W. Nickerson, Chair of the Farmington Town Council. Andrew Kralik, I apologize. And here's your, thank you. Thank you all very much for all you've done for our community. Okay, we have no public hearing. New items. Meredith.
I'd like to make a motion to add an agenda item. The agenda item is going to be 03,
Second.
which is an executive session to discuss attorney-client privilege communications.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, public comment. Now, I would just like to let everybody know that for public comment, it's 5 minutes, and you can give your name and your address, unless you're a student. If you're a student, we don't want your address, just your name. And I would like anyone who would like to come up to give public comment to do that, and on any issues that you'd like to speak on, and nothing personal nature, but any issues in the town.
Stephen K., 57 Garden Gate. I'd like to begin by thanking all of you, as always, for your service, but this time even more so for your support of the Farmington High School building project. It looks like 6 out of the 7 building committee members were in support of this, of which part of you are part of that. 7 of 9 Board of Ed members and all of you sitting here today were in support or are in support of the building project based on how you voted, so thank you for that. I would also like to thank those of you who went beyond, well beyond, to specifically address why you were in support of the project. From the town council members, Amy Suffredini, Democrat, and Peter Mastro Batista. I apologize, did I get that right?
Pretty good.
All right, Peter, Republican. Your public comment it exemplified the bipartisan support of this project, and you delineated all of the reasons why it's so important, so thank you for that. Meredith Trimble, who served both on the building committee and obviously on town council, thank you for offering to the public to open yourself up to any questions regarding the planning, the project, or the pricing, including the grant. So thank you for that. And I'd also like to thank the past town council chairs who drafted the open letter in support of the project. 5 of the past 6 chairs are in support of the project, and with Nancy voting in favor, that leaves us with 6 of the 7. So I won't get into all of the specifics for why I'm in favor of it. I've definitely shared that before. But with all the support, I'd normally be pretty confident about a yes vote. However, this year I'm not. Now, I'm okay, and you've seen me here before, when I'm in favor of something and people who are against it look at the facts and I lose. I'm okay with that. My opinion doesn't have to always win as long as we're debating facts and we're debating them fairly. That happened with the Board of Education, for example, year after year after year with full-day kindergarten before it was finally adopted. I appreciate that because it was the facts that were examined and it was a fair fight, if you will. The reason I'm here today is because I'm concerned. I'm especially concerned about the misinformation that's out there and it's being spread. While I obviously don't suspect anyone up here in any way is doing this, I question how this can be ethical and allowable. I know that, for example, in the past, nonprofit advocacy groups have been held to very high standards for what we are allowed to do, when we're allowed to publish things, where we're allowed to distribute information. And I'm seeing that those opposed to this are violating many of those expectations. It's my understanding, for example, that they're distributing flyers in neighborhoods without an attribution to their group. They've sent mass text messages to high school students with their no message. These cell phone numbers were never released to the responsible FHS group. They're not following basic guidelines for their placement of signs. You drive here, they're on public land. Now I see the other sides being taken down, but the yes signs have been taken down. Signs made by kids. But then more recently at the town meeting, they placed copies, or I shouldn't say they, someone placed copies of an unauthorized document advocating their position using misinformation alongside official town handouts without attribution to their organization in order to confuse the public. I don't understand how this is allowed. I don't understand. And my question to you is, at the time, I know that someone asked, please look into this. It was in a high school. There's videos all over the high school. And I'm guessing that by now you've had a chance to look at the videos. if you have, I think it's your duty to inform the public tonight as to who's done this and to notify how it's being handled. Because I know that in support of it, I'm following the rules. And like I said, I have no problem battling someone fighting a fair fight, but this isn't fair, and I don't know how they're being held accountable. So I hope tonight you can address how the opposition is being held accountable when all of you I know are in favor of the project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Ned Stachin, 6 Bella Lane. I'd also like to thank the council for the support on the on the high school project.
You have traffic on your mind, I can tell.
DOT, you can get out of DOT. I think it's something that this town really needs. I think some of the past projects were poorly planned, and the layout of the school just doesn't flow. The cafeteria is too small. We all heard, the laundry list of needs, and I took the tour, and it just really highlighted how badly we really need this high school. And I too am concerned about, the misinformation that's being out there. I talked to some people today, and I saw the signs with the $184 million, and that the state isn't going to give us the money for the high school now, and it's very, very disappointing that some people feel they need to spread lies about this in order to try and get their point across. This town really needs this project, and if you ask anybody who's come to Farmington in recent years, and 9 times out of 10, they have young children ready to go to school, and they are there to get a good education. And we need a facility that's not going to put it at risk of losing accreditation at our high school. We need a facility that's up to date. We need a facility that represents the technology that's needed at the high school now. And we can't wait any longer. We're going to run risk of losing the accreditation. In regards to the town meeting, I was at the high school, and I viewed a video today that was very disturbing. In the video, I saw Justin Bernier walk in and with the stack of flyers that they put on the front table, and John Landry moved the
I'd rather,
stuff.
yes, not to be personal, just to, you said
It's not a personal. It's just what was viewed on the video. The video's out there. I saw it online.
I know.
Okay, so those two, and I just outraged that people who are supposed to be, if the council voted in favor of this, they should be willing to be on board. And why one of these persons on the high school building committee is advocating and working against it. I mean, why was this person chosen to be on the high school building committee if he is going to be an advocate against the project? I really think that more people should watch this video online and see that these are the people that are supposed to be representing us, and they're actually fighting against this high school. So I really think that information should be out there, and that people need to realize that these flyers are filled with lies, that these lawn signs are filled with lies, and that let's hope that more people are getting accurate information and that we can get this high school project passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Brian Noe, 14 Farmington Meadow Drive, and I just want to make it clear that I'm representing myself this evening and a personal conversation I had during the public meeting. I do want to start by saying that the building committee did an outstanding job in looking at the options and presenting what I believe is the best option for the town in the long term. And I also thank all of you for your hard work. It was a very complex project, and there's so much emotion and misunderstanding going on out there that I imagine you'll be happy when Thursday comes. But again, I do want to thank everybody who was involved. What happened to me is at around 9 p.m., I was leaving the meeting, and Justin Bernier, and I'm only mentioning his name because it's important who this individual was at the table. where the information was, introduced himself. I started chatting with him. I was with a friend. And then he proceeded to give me this document right here. Right? And in the corner, I noticed the source. It was the FHS Facility Report, Tecton Architects, February 2015. We then had about a 10 to 15 minute conversation, which he was using this chart to show me all the reasons why we shouldn't do the project. And I thought it was interesting because I'm thinking, well, the building committee passed this, and I don't remember seeing this. And this obviously has, information that indicates why are we doing this? And I asked him at one point, I said, how did this pass the building committee if all this is true? Right? And he did identify himself as a member of the building committee. And he gave some answers that aren't important, but the fact of the matter is, I think what's disturbing here is not only with the video and what may have happened there, it's that I know personally, I walked out of the building thinking that, wow, maybe I shouldn't support this project. Right? I did some more research, called some people, and realized that no, this was in fact false information. And that's the concern, that you have a building committee member who's representing himself as the building committee person, and he identified himself as such, and I have a witness to back it up, and then spreading this information. And I think that is very serious. Maybe it only happened to me, maybe it happened to other people. I leave that up to you. I do think, at best, this undermines trust in the system. And I think that's a real issue. And if our trust is undermined, then rumors become more likely to be considered fact and could have a big impact on our vote on Thursday. At worst, right, if this town council investigates this further, and I implore you to do so, and it turns out that there was at least unethical, if not illegal conduct here, that you would ask for resignations and you would remove people from those positions who are abusing the trust of the public. Again, only if true. I leave that up to you. I think the bottom line is what I am going to ask the council to do is this. We have to back the work of the building committee, and we have to give the residents of Farmington an objective set of facts to vote in confidence on Thursday. And I ask you between now and Thursday, either through a website or a press release or something, refute those actions and refute this data as not being town council data and not being building committee data. That this is data either from an individual or from a group. I don't know where it came from. But that is what I'm asking you to do tonight. Again, thank you for your time. I appreciate the fact that this is a very sensitive and delicate situation, and thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. Have a good evening.
Thank you. One of the things maybe I should have said at the beginning, I was going to wait until the end, but many of you that have been here before know the council does not interact or answer questions at this forum, in this manner at public comment. Now is public comment, but we always listen to all the comments, and we take everything into consideration. So, just so you know that. But we are listening. It's not that if we don't respond, we're not.
Yes, our questions are rhetorical. We understand that too. Yeah. My name is Emily Cleaney, and I'm from 30 High Street. And I actually was the person who raised the question at that last meeting on May 23rd. So I wanted to follow up on that point. At that meeting, the special high school meeting, I noticed a flyer placed amongst the town-generated documents, and I knew that it didn't belong there. I didn't realize it until I had taken a copy and gone to my seat and sat down and gone through all of the materials. I also noticed that no one referenced it in any of the presentations or the questions. So I knew it didn't belong there, and so I waited and spoke about it at the public comment section, and now I'm back again before you with mounting concerns. First, I would like to state that I am very concerned and disappointed by those that purposely thwarted the goal of that meeting, because as I understand it, that was to provide the public with non-biased information and facts. By placing a flyer in a conspicuous spot, which was adjacent to town documents, and by failing to attribute the flyer to the group or individual that created it, and by attempting to sway the mindset of voters who were out that evening looking for facts, this person or group has interfered with our referendum process. This behavior is unethical and far below the standards of this town. I expect better from our citizens. A healthy debate is to be expected and encouraged when issues this momentous cross our path.
but to manipulate voters by deceit and to infringe upon the town's attempts to educate its citizens is inexcusable. So I'm here before you to ask what you have learned about this incident thus far and how you plan to move forward to correct the misinformation and the spread of manipulative data before Thursday's referendum. Thank you.
Other public comment?
CJ Thomas, 43 Mallard Drive. Watching this whole process has been a little disconcerting. We've had probably the most contentious moments in town that I've seen since I've been here over this particular referendum issue. The big scary number of 184 million that we're seeing on yard signs and all our mailboxes are inundated with that number is just not a realistic number. That number assumes that we're financing $135 million, which we've already said was not the intent. The intent is to finance $109 million, and the building committee has said if we don't get state funding, we are going to reduce that number. The real cost here that we have to look at is the cost of doing nothing and the cost of waiting. Right now, we're at historically low interest rates. We're talking about a 3.25% potential interest rate here. If we wait and we just see what are some interest rates going up 3%, if we finance that same $109 million at 6.25% instead of 3.25%, guess what the number is? $184 million. We'll actually hit that number if we don't do something now. So if you don't want to see us costing $184 million to build a new high school, vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Other public comment?
Good evening. Annette Perzan from 3 Sarah Drive. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. You've seen me here before. I'm here to speak in favor of the conservation easement regarding Sarah Drive. As I've mentioned before, and we've had the opportunity to speak with some of you in a session, this would truly benefit the residents of Sarah Drive. It would give us some peace of mind. As mentioned previously, right now the configuration of the street, there are no houses facing on one side of the street where they wanted to place the easement, and to protect that land would mean a great deal to myself, my family, the environment of the street. I have a 2-year-old. The reason we chose Sarah Drive was the environment of the street, the nature of the street. Having homes built on the other side would drastically change that. The conservation easement would really give us peace of mind and assure us what we've already been told, that houses most likely will not be there, that it is open land, and that the town values open land and protects its residents. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comment? Okay, before I close the public comment, as I said before, we don't go back and forth with the public with a discussion during public comment. But I will assure all of you that we have been looking into the situation since the meeting on June 5th. The town manager's office and the council have been looking into it and have been following up on many different issues. And that is why we have an executive session on our agenda tonight. So just know that it has not gone on deaf ears tonight, but it did not from the time this happened a week and a half ago. So just know that your council and your town are looking into the issues, and that's just important to know. I can't say anything else right now. Okay. Reading of the minutes.
I move to approve the May 9th, 2017 minutes of the regular town council meeting.
Second.
Any corrections? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Okay, I move to approve the May 23rd, 2017 regular town council meeting minutes.
Second.
Any changes or corrections? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, reading of the communications and appeals.
There was just 3 items in your packet. One was, again, writing to our representatives about the situation at the state. So we did write another letter expressing our concern. The second was a thank you letter to the Department of Transportation. As you probably have noticed, and I think Nancy mentioned at the last meeting, the DOT did paint the railings of the Unionville Bridge, and so we just sent a thank you notice to them. I thought it was very nice. And lastly, we received a nice letter from a resident that lives up on Pinnacle that he was very pleased with his paving job that took place. So just wanted to make note of that.
Yes, thank you. And I just want to say it's so nice to get letters from the community, too, that show their appreciation for the town and what our staff does. So thank you for that. Okay. Report of committees. Yukon, no committee, no report this time. Land acquisition,
Nothing to report.
green efforts,
Nothing to report?
joint town of Farmington, city of Hartford. Actually, we have a meeting June 23rd. We just set up a meeting with Adam Cloud in Hartford to talk about the Batterson Park area. Bike committee,
No report?
gateway,
We have a meeting this Thursday. Amy confirmed the time for me, 5 o'clock,
5 o'clock, yep.
and nothing new to report.
sorry.
Sorry.
okay. High school,
Well,
not much to say.
I guess
lot
I guess we're just all aware of the referendum on the building committee's recommended project on this Thursday, June 15th, and we should probably, I don't know, I've gotten questions about the polling places, and I don't know if Kathy can say one sentence just about, are they your regular polling places, is that correct?
They are the regular
Okay.
polling places.
Thank you.
And the polls are open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
6 a.m. Thank you, Paula.
Okay. Report of the council chair, and I will say, it can't be said enough. The vote on Thursday is from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., and it is at your regular polling places. And it's all online, too, as well, I think, so, and it generally is. But I can't encourage people enough to get out and vote. We want to hear from you. Board of Education. No report. UVIA.
I will note that the free summer movie series is almost upon us. It begins in July in behind Union School starting at dusk on 3 Fridays. I'll note the July ones, the 14th and the 28th. The 14th will be Moana. The 28th will be Willy Wonka. Again, these are free to the community, and they are in partnership this year with the Community Chest as well as Farmington Community and Recreation Services.
Thank you. Hopefully it's not 95.
Right.
TPZ,
Nothing new to report.
okay. WPCA,
Nothing to report.
EDC,
Nothing to report.
Human Relations,
We have a meeting this upcoming Monday, the 19th, at the community center at 6:30.
Chamber. Any other liaison reports? Okay, report of the town manager, Kathy.
I have a couple of items. The first is that the police department is going to be working with the community chest to be looking to do a fundraising effort for a CERT canteen truck. So I just wanted to let you know about that. And again, it's a great partnership between our police department and the community, Farmington Community Chest. And so just some information on that. So they're going to be starting a fundraising effort. The next thing is, and I left it at your places, Mary Ellen Harper, our Director of Fire and Rescue Services, is going to be retiring from the town of Farmington. She will be having a party at the end of the month, so your invitation is there if you're interested in attending. We are going to be doing a recruitment effort right now. Mary Ellen has offered to assist us through the transition period. I'm sure you're aware that our organizational structure of the fire department is by ordinance. It's Chapter 29 of the code. We have reviewed the ordinance. I have reviewed the ordinance with the 3 fire chiefs, and to see if there's any restructuring and differences that they would like to see. There was a clear desire from them to keep the system we have in place. And it was my intent to start recruiting for the director's position. As you probably are aware, that our position is relatively unique in the state of Connecticut and may be a difficult position to fill. But the chiefs felt strongly that we would try to go out and get a similar type of position. And if we needed to reevaluate, we'd reevaluate at that time. So that was my thoughts on that. The last item, and I'm reading it, and I just want to verify with Joe, is our state budget grants. And I see something at the end of the report that says, 3 asterisks that says actually received on June 5th, 2017. So it looks like our revenue sharing grant, projects grant, came in, and we actually received the money. So that $545,000. That's very, very good news for the town. Very good news.
Yes.
So that's a positive update for us.
Could I have a motion to accept the report?
I move to accept the town manager's June 13th report.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, appointments.
I have a L11. I move that Joshua Allen be appointed to the Retirement Board for the balance of a 2-year term, beginning immediately and ending January 2018.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Anything else? Old business, none. New business, N1.
I move to approve the purchase of 440 and 8658 Plainville Avenue, owned by Robin E. Herman, trustee, and George Gravoski, approximately 13 acres, for a purchase price of $950,000, subject to receipt of an acceptable Phase 1 environmental site assessment report, and subject to due diligence, including but not limited to title search, and to authorize the town manager to sign a purchase and sales agreement for this acquisition.
Second.
As you remember, we had the public hearing last month. You have the information in front of you, giving the map, the background information, and just to let you know, is my understanding, I think it was last night, correct, Peter?
Yep.
At the TPZ, they did accepted the 8-24 report. So
Yes.
that was done last night, and so this is the last stage in the process, and that would be to the approval to purchase the property.
Any questions tonight? John?
So just to be clear, there are 3 buildings or 3 structures on the property, and the intention is to take down all 3
That was my
and not
understanding.
use them at all, but turn that over into open space.
That was my understanding, yes.
And on the property, I had mentioned to Kat, there are some beautiful, beautiful lilac bushes, and a couple of the trees are beautiful, so I asked if we could possibly save, when we go in and do the houses and take them down, we could pay attention to those, because they're really old, old bushes and old trees. They're just gorgeous. So anyway, real pretty stuff. Thank you. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. N2.
I move to recommend the attached conservation easement across town property abutting Sarah Drive to the Town Plan and Zoning Commission for an 8-24 report and to the Conservation Commission for acceptance.
Second.
On your places, I have an amended grant and conservation easement. And also at your places, it's on page 3, the final version that's left on, what was left at your places. What was in your packet, I forgot the conditional grant. It was just an oversight. And so that is added in. So it's the attachment, this conservation is the one that's at your places. And that was just boilerplate language that I missed. So that's the attached easement. The Conservation Commission, the 8-24 had a referral. We would be recommending that to a referral. We'd be recommending it to the Conservation Commission for acceptance of the easement. Then it would come back to the Town Council for an 8-24, would be received by the council from the TPZ, and the final approval. So we're asking the Conservation Commission to accept it. We're asking the TPZ for an 8-24, and then it's coming back to us, and that for signature. And the grant is the one that was left at your place.
Any questions, John?
So Kathy, I'm certainly in favor of this going through, and I think it's proper. I was under the impression that when we do development projects or approve development projects that have open space recommendations from the TPZ, that those open space portions automatically get conservation easements on them. Is that not true? Is this?
I think the history of this is a little bit strange about how
Okay.
it,
So this is an isolated case?
This seems like a very much an isolated case.
Okay, so most places,
They-
if there's been a development,
They
it is.
grant open space, and it's part of the subdivision.
Good,
So seems like an isolated case, and that's why we're going to doing it this way.
good.
And then the neighborhood is good with this?
My understanding is the neighborhood's very good with this.
Okay.
Yes. Any other questions? We appreciate the interaction and the insight, too, from the neighbor. Thank you. Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, N3.
Move to approve the following town council meeting schedule for 2018 and to set the date of the annual town meeting.
Second?
Kathy, you want to speak to the new one?
So, just so you know, this is left at your place. Paul and I were talking, and what we have done historically is that you'll see the next item is N4, is setting special budget meetings. And we've just done that forever and ever, but we really don't have to because they're really town council meetings. And when there's special budget meetings, we have more restrictions on them. So Paula had suggested that when we approve our annual meeting schedule, we just include the budget meetings as budget meetings. So what I've suggested, that's what I did on your item, your new N3, and then we will not take on item 4 because it's included in this. So I think this is a better way to do it, and this is going to be our meeting schedule, and as you can see from what was left at your spots, that we've added the budget meetings into that document.
Any questions? And as you see, the the first referendum again is April, which is so early, but nothing changed this year with legislation as far as allowing the towns to just automatically do their budgets later. So if we hear anything about that next year, we'd certainly alert the council, but right now, we go by our charter, which that's what this is all about, is how our charter sets up the time frame. So.
Right, and if you probably, even though we've always had it up for the last, not this year, but years in the past, we had it a little bit later. That's because we used to change it because of school break, and it seems like school break has moved, and because school break has moved, we follow our charter exactly, which actually pushes us up earlier, and so that's why it's, even though in the past it seemed later, but it was because of the school break and we changed it. So this is how we should be doing it according to the charter.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. So N4 is now gone. N5, Kathy?
I got it.
Oh, okay.
I move to cancel the June 27th, 2017 regular town council meeting and to schedule a special town council meeting. This would be on July 10th, 2017 at 6:00 p.m. in the town hall.
Second?
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. N6.
I move to approve the following property tax refunds as shown on agenda item N6.
Second?
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Peter?
No, I don't have any left.
All right, so we're going to start with pending litigation?
Yeah, Monday.
All right, are we ready for this? All right,
Wait, which one do we want to do first?
We don't have this tonight, so we have this one. Let's just do this one first, and then we'll do that one next.
all right, I move to adjourn to executive sessions to discuss matters concerning pending litigation, and that attendance in the executive session shall be limited to members of the town council and the town manager at 7:50 p.m.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?